welcome everybody to Well That's Horrific, the podcast, episode 13.
Yes.
Lucky number 13. I'm Tom Cruz,
And I am Mr. S.
and we got a bit of a show for you guys. I got Matt Dillon on top of me right here. What are we going to be talking about today?
The house that Jack built.
Yes, The House That Jack Built. This is directed by Lars Von Trier?
Trier or whatever. He's Danish, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
This movie has been on my radar for a while, but then you brought it up. I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? Let's watch it.
Yeah, I saw that it was trending. I saw that it was trending on like Twitter and it was trending on TikTok. A hard film to watch. I'm just like, all right, fine. Let's take a look at it. It's something I did want to watch too. Matt Dillon, I know him from The Outsiders and
A lot of stuff.
a lot of stuff.
He's in Crash too. What else is he in? He's in a couple different things.
Oh, yeah, he played that police officer, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a cowboy movie. There's something else. He's in a
Yeah,
couple.
no, he's a talented actor. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I was like, figure why not?
You probably are right. He's probably famously known from The Outsiders.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned, this movie was on my radar, and I was immediately like, "What is this movie about?" Because I remember hearing about it, and I have to watch it. And I was like, "Okay, let's do it." I watched the trailer. I watched not even the full trailer. I saw 1 minute of the trailer before I told you let's watch it. And I saw Uma Thurman, and I was like, "I'm watching it." It's like,
Right.
and I was like, and it was a very interesting premise the way the trailer was, and not to say that the movie wasn't very interesting, but it was different. It's not what I expected.
I didn't even watch the trailer, man. I just went in. I didn't even watch no trailer.
I just saw Uma Thurman, and I like Uma Thurman. We were just talking about Stranger Things and Uma Thurman's daughter.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can dive right in if you're ready.
I am absolutely ready.
Okay. The story follows Jack, a highly intelligent serial killer, over the course of 12 years, and depicts the murders that really developed his inner madman. That's the plot on IMDb.
Yes.
And that's the first thing that really stood out to me, right? He really is a madman. Like, early on, talking first 5 minutes of the movie, you kind of pick this up. Which is why I felt like Uma Thurman's character kind of stood out to me, even though she wasn't in the movie for long. But spoiler alert, before we start diving into the movie itself.
Yes.
Well, it's in the plot synopsis. He is a serial killer. And yeah, like it starts off very intense. I don't know if I would classify this as horror or more so thriller suspense.
Right. I honestly don't know how to start. I do not know how to start because there's so many things that I want to say, and I don't know if it's going to benefit us, as horror fans or not. But this movie is very disturbing.
It is.
This is a disturbing movie, and yes, I do think it classifies under the, a horror genre and thriller, but horror itself. But to me, I don't know how to explain it. So this movie is not. I guess this is the flaw with horror movies, because these type of movies, I feel like gives people ideas. So I appreciated the movie, how it came together, the idea of it, sure, but I didn't like the movie. I don't know if that makes sense. In terms of
It makes sense. It's almost like
it gives people ideas. This movie is very twisted. Very disturbing, and I feel like, again, this is when people ask me oh, you're a horror fan, and then you like this, this is what you're like. Why would you like? I feel like it may be a different conversation to have, but when people say to me, "Yo, let's go watch a horror movie," this is not what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I want to be clear on that. This is not what I'm thinking.
No, and that's where I agree with you 100%. This is not my cup of tea in the sense of a horror movie. It's definitely a very disturbing movie. I can see why people like it for that same aspect in that sort of category where it's realism, but it's also really disturbing. It's so real, it's disturbing. The only other movie that I can think of that's kind of like this, it's almost shot. Well, it's interesting because as disturbing as it is, and you mentioned that you give people ideas. It's shot in a way where it is meant to be art. Same, the entire theme of the movie is art. There's art behind everything. He basically, classifies himself as an architect, and everything has to be art. And the
Right.
person he's talking to, he's describing everything, and even to the fact where the way he puts the bodies and everything. Um, because of that, I feel like it does basically remove a layer of reality from it. Only because of that, I would say. But
Right.
the only other movie I can think of, it's on the tip of my tongue. There's a movie that's really realistic, but it's like so disturbing to watch, and it's about like a disturbed shooter who basically decides to get a whole bunch of riot armor and go on a shooting. But it's really disturbing because it's not only relevant to what's going on in the world, but also it's just the way they filmed it and the way it's shot. It's almost like hard to watch.
Oh, I think I know which movie you're talking. It's an old movie. It's they're at the bank too. He just starts shooting people.
So he basically
I know this movie.
there's three parts of this movie if I'm not mistaken. I think they've made it 3 parts by now. But yeah, it reminds me of kind of sort of that in the sense of like the way it makes you feel. But it's just Jack. Jack is just a very disturbing character. Like if we're just talking about him, he loves toying with people. And you don't really get this early on because Uma Thurman kind of gets it out of him. She kind of pokes the bear until the bear bites her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like poking the bear, and he's almost like, I don't want to do this, and then he does it. Versus like every other time, he more than enjoyed it. He the first person where he breaks into pretends to be a cop to get inside the house.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
there's a lot, but it's creepy. It's creepy the way he does it.
It's creepy,
and he sadistic. Does. Yeah, there's a lot of people that he makes them seem like they're really dumb, especially that last, one of the last girls that she, not the smartest, of the bunch, but
dumber, and I quote, dumber than a fucking doorknob.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, he does a lot of disturbing things, man.
Yeah, it just shows how twisted this person is, and like. As these incidents are being brought up, the conversations he's having afterwards with the Verge whatever shows like his like justification behind it or his reasoning behind it, and that to me is even sicker. Like how he thinks that that's cool, Yeah. And okay, so the whole thing, first incident. Let's talk about the first incident, right, with Uma Thurman.
Yep.
By the way, I was expecting her to do some, fighting going, but I guess not.
Nah, yeah. Wrong movie.
Yeah, wrong movie. But he Jack, Matt Dillon's character Jack, he seems very quiet. I thought he seemed very quiet. He seemed very quiet, very, like you said, like she pokes it out of him. She's like saying, serial killer, you're too soft or too weak or something like that.
Well, first she insults him by calling him a serial killer. She tells him like you look like a serial killer all of a sudden. And then she says, "Oh no, you could never be a serial killer." You're
right.
Like, what?
Yeah, and it kind of brings him out, and then with this movie we see his progression towards being more psychotic and more about the killing and whatnot. But the first scene with the pun, the Jack, kills him with a jack,
yes,
a tire jack.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the vibe that I got from Matt Dillon's character was so calm, right? Which was fine, and I appreciated it. But I was expecting things to happen in the beginning, like the first drive to what's his name?
They played with you with that.
Yeah, they exactly. They played with me with that, which I guess appreciated because I thought something was gonna happen. There's
like
first
3
time.
or 4 drives. By the end of it, you're like, "This is not." I thought I had to watch the trailer, and they show that particular part in the trailer, or they show him hitting her with the jack.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, maybe it's just it was a fake. He doesn't do it in the actual movie. It was just in the trailer.
Right.
And then finally it happens.
Right.
It takes 3 rides. He drives her 2 and back and 2. Again, she's messing with him, right? Like, come on.
But then I start to realize that type of thing repeats itself and it drags a little bit throughout each other incident. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like they call him highly intelligent. They say it in the synopsis and whatnot, but he's intelligent in terms of coming up with stuff. Like, like you said, the second incident when he's trying to get into the house as a cop initially, and then,
he's like, he's great at improvising. He just comes up with random things to say to kind of Like I
But
don't know if it's his charisma, but he'll just say one thing to another, and it's just, at the end of it, they're
yeah.
just like overwhelmed with like I don't know. I guess come in.
Yeah, but to me, I felt like it was so stupid on the victim's end. Like
Yeah,
you get in a car with a stranger. You're the second lady, which I thought was so stupid. Like you're buying this guy's bullshit. First, he told you he was a cop.
but you
You
got
asked for a badge, doesn't show you a badge. Then he changes up his story. He says,
yeah.
"I'm a friend of this." I'm like, how are you letting this person in? Like,
It was the money thing. The light bulb flipped in her head the moment he said, "I can double your pension" or something, and then she was like, "Okay, come in." Um, but yeah, you're right, and I feel like they make almost all the victims and the cops look ridiculous in this movie. Um, bro,
consistently,
he
consistently.
he when he finally kills her or whatever, and you find out he has OCD. He's seeing blood everywhere. He has to go back and clean or whatever, and then the cops finally come, or one cop comes to check, and his idea is not to like leave or hide the body or something. He basically stays there and says, "Oh no, she's missing." He plays into like it's almost like he wants to get caught. Like
Right.
he doesn't try to get away, or maybe somehow in his head he thinks staying there is the way he doesn't get caught, which you can see later on in the movie where he does this a lot, where he like toys with the idea of getting caught, where like no the girl that ends up telling somebody else, and then he's like, yeah, I am a murderer. Like he is almost like he's almost believing he's invincible.
Yes. Yes.
um
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
in that particular scene when the cop comes and he tells him to stay outside, uh and he tells him, "Oh, check the door. Check if the door's open." And the doors happens to be open. The cop doesn't, say anything, and then he follows the cop inside, even though he specifically told him to stay outside. And then he starts fighting with him about the crime scene, uh, saying like he might have a better input in. I'm like, what's going on here? I was like,
Yeah.
how is this
This
cop allowing this? What's going on? And then he drives away. He just drives away, dragging the corpse,
oh,
and gets away with it.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. So you mentioned, and I forgot to mention that this guy Jack he has OCD like heavy and like compulsions. You know, he likes to be clean. He likes to have a room clean before he leaves.
Yeah, he's
So
so
obsessed with it.
obsessed. He's
Yeah,
so obsessed that he sees things that aren't there. In
exactly.
that particular scene, he's like thinking about, oh, maybe there's blood behind the painting, and he goes back to check the painting, but there's no way it
Right.
would have gotten behind. It was never like moved.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's what I mean by they kept doing that as the movie went on, which it kind of dragged a little bit. So in this, like we talked about the first incident, they played with it. The second incident was this, like he goes back into the car, has the body in the car. He's like thinking to himself, "Oh, I think there's blood under the chair." Goes back inside, nothing there, but he cleans it anyway. He ends up
yeah,
cleaning it anyway. Goes back, thinks there's blood behind the frame, sees there's nothing, cleans it anyway. We see that. We see a lot of that. And then you mentioned the cop, which is stupid. So here's what I'm thinking. So he said this quote to The Verge. He said, it was like hiding. What did he say? He said, "I'm hiding. It's not really hiding if you're hiding in plain sight." That's what he said. And it's like, to me, it's like, that's so stupid because he's literally driving with the body being dragged with
dragged.
the van. He's carrying the girl out the motel, and then brings her back and then brings another one back. And I'm just like, yo, is nobody seeing this? Is nobody seeing this
Yeah.
at all?
It's almost like he lives in this alternate reality where
Yeah.
like nobody pays attention, and it's also like he mentions in that scene where he starts yelling or he tells her to scream. Again, a fucking hard scene to watch,
Yeah.
but like it's almost like he's invincible. Like even him yelling, her yelling, they're outside. No, nothing. Nobody comes. Nothing. I don't know. It's weird. It's one of those things where what it reminded me of was the Joker. Right at the end of the Joker, it gives you this idea of like you don't know if he was telling the story the way it happened or if it was all like in his head. Right. It's like
Yeah.
how much of this was real. Like I don't know. I feel like this movie really lost me towards the end of the movie. Really, is where it gets like really strange.
Yeah, man. Listen, as this movie went on, it was just more disturbing than the last.
No, it is very disturbing, but it's also like the artistic choice and everything, and where it heads to by the third act. I was already like, I'm over it. It's
Yeah.
just too much.
It we don't shy away from anything in this podcast, so we are going to like just mention some things that are twisted, because we we have to, you know, again, like
I mean,
this
it's the
is
movie.
it's the movie, you know, this is the movie that we're watching, and you know, this guy Lars Von Trier, he's apparently like known for this type of movie, these type of movies. You know, apparently the Antichrist was his,
Yep.
and some other movies,
I
and
didn't know him from the Antichrist. I don't know him from anything else.
but yeah, same. So, oh my god, I think for me where it started getting a little sick was like the third incident.
Which one
The
was
third,
the third? Was
the third incident was the one where he's like he kisses this woman and then he
he
just
just
starts
starts choking
choking her.
Yeah, that's
And
where it
she's like,
starts.
stop, stop. And then she's tearing and he just doesn't stop,
Yeah,
kills her.
that one almost caught me off guard because I was not expecting
Yeah.
it.
And then he has this thing where he, like, you know, he brings the bodies to this freezer that he has on Prospect something, and
Yeah,
that nobody
Prospect,
apparently
sure.
sees him doing that, like putting the bodies into the freezer. And then he goes back. This is what's crazy. He goes back. Oh, so he takes pictures of like the people he kills because he's trying to build a house. Hence the title of the movie. Even though I think they should have came up with a different title because I know they stress it a little bit, but it's really not the whole point of the movie. Or is it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. But so he goes back because he didn't like the picture that he took when he murdered her in that setting. So he goes back. And this time, as he was going back, he saw this lady asking for help, you know, for a ride, like a hitchhiker. And he just, boom, runs her over, kills her, puts her in the van too, puts them both in the, like, back to the motel where he killed them, and just starts taking pictures in these different positions. Like, you can see that he's having fun with this. And that's so sick. I think that's insane, man.
No, that's definitely where the movie starts getting really, really sick. And then by the next incident, it just gets worse. It's the next one, the one with the
family?
kids. Yeah,
Oh, my God.
yeah. That's where I was just like, I don't know what I'm watching at this point.
Yeah.
And then, what is it that he compares it to? He compares it to
every incident, every killing that he does, he compares it to. Sometimes every incident he compares it to art, some way or another.
Yeah.
Because after every incident, he's talking with The Verge, and The Verge is like I'm not applauding you. This is horrible. He's like, no, you know, I'm an architect, you know, all that stuff. But the third one, he compares it to a lot of different things, but he compares it to how
is it deer hunting or something? I don't remember.
deer hunting, and then the trophy afterwards, and like how you.
Yeah.
So like the mother deer's first, then it's the.
It's basically like how you catch them or whatever. No, it's
my God.
and it's not even is the mother first? No, it's not. I think it's
No, she's first in line, but you kill the one
the
last
last.
because that's how you start apparently. So he ends up doing that. He kills the youngest kid first, and then the second one, and then he kills the mom last.
And he even
not even kills the mom last.
He tortures her basically.
He tortures her, man. He tortures her. He killed both of her sons, and then he like stages them, like sitting down. He's like, "Oh, feed them some pie," you know, and like she's crying, and,
Sick.
and
Super sick.
It's oh my God, guys, it's insane.
Yeah, and then he asks her what's her favorite number, and I'm like, where is he going with this? He gives her to the count of that number before he shoots her. And then she's not even dead. He walks up to her laying down after the first shot and shoots her again. And that's when then he fucking stages the bodies, and yeah, I don't know. That's at this point I was already like, yeah.
You got to think, man. You got to like stop and think. Like this guy Lars, because he also wrote it. Lars wrote it with some gently, but he mostly wrote this, and it's like, what kind of mind, you know, like what kind of message are you sending? Like I didn't understand the message of this movie.
No, I didn't either.
What?
I feel like that's one of the reasons that I didn't like this movie is because I didn't understand the overall theme or message or anything behind it. I didn't even honestly.
Are you just trying to make some sick movie? You know, like is that what it is? Because there's plenty of them out there, but like,
yeah, but it could have been. You know, you could make a movie that's quote unquote disturbing and still have it have some sort of idea or premise.
Yeah. I guess if I had to say, it's because he's trying to build a house.
Yeah, but what even is that? What even is?
I don't know.
Can you tell me
that?
No
idea.
Because I did not get it.
I wasn't getting it either.
Like just to show you the scene that right behind me, he's been building this house, and then they show his house got destroyed twice or something like that.
Because he wasn't happy with the material and how it was coming out, so he keeps trying to redo it. You know.
And he has inheritance, right? That's how he got so much money or something. I don't know.
He has inheritance, substantial amount apparently. And yeah, man. Like I said, this movie, you know, it could easily fit categorized as a horror movie, but it's not my
Yeah, I saw somebody
idea.
compare this or mention that this has like American Psycho vibes. I don't know, man. I like American Psycho.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, I can see certain things, but I don't know. This is different. This is different.
I
American Psycho is almost like the Joker in that same idea, where like you don't know what's real,
man.
so it kind of
I,
plays with your mind.
yeah. I don't want to get, I don't want to get hate or anything for like what I'm about to say, but the movie, if Lars was going for a sick movie, if he was going for things that wasn't making sense but was like messed up, like cause like the killings and the positioning of the people in the freezer and how you like what after they died he would fix their mouth, and then that incident that almost happened where he tied like all the guys,
Yeah,
and he wanted to kill him with one bullet literally going straight through everyone's head. If you were going for that type of movie, you did it. Like, congrats to you. I think you did a pretty good job making the movie that you wanted to do. I'm just being honest. If that's what you were going for, like if you were sitting it down and you told me, hey, listen, I want to make this movie and somehow I approved it, I would be satisfied with this movie. Me, though, being me, no, bro.
I'm not a fan either. Honestly, it took me 2 sittings to watch this movie. I had to stop halfway through the movie and say like, hey, I'm gonna watch this some other time. It's also really long. It's 2 hours and a half.
Yeah, it was 2 hours and a half, and on top of that, each incident was dragged. Each incident was
dragged, and I feel like they got worse in terms of like how fucked up they were.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Oh my god,
because even the other girl, even the fourth girl, what is it? Is that the fourth incident? The one that he calls dumb as a doorknob?
Yeah.
That he's literally like fucking with her head OD, and then tells her to scream, and he almost gets caught, and yeah, I don't know. I felt so bad for her.
Yo, just so I mean, if you haven't watched it and you decided to listen to the podcast, this is girl that he's seeing apparently, and he said that he had feelings for her, and she's afraid that he's gonna break up with her, but then he decides to act all cool and say, yo, I've killed 60 people. I'm going to update it tonight with 61. And she's like not getting the hint. And then she finally does. And like he takes like a pen, like a highlighter, and like outlines like her breasts.
Yeah.
And, this is what made me mad about the movie. She goes outside, sees the cop, tells the cop, yo, he just told me he killed 60 people. He's being really weird, blah, blah. The cop is like, stop with the drinking.
Yeah,
stop drinking. Yeah. And then they go back and like, He kind of lured her in, was like, I'm sorry, I'm just not me. Like, I like you, blah, blah, all that stuff. Goes back. She realizes he cut the phone and took her keys.
Yeah.
And then from there on, he just loses it in the most psychotic way possible. He goes like, go ahead, scream. No one's going to hear you. No one's going to help you, blah, blah. He ties her up, tells her, yo, nod if you want this knife, if you want me to use this knife. And then he kind of cuts out her breast and the way he outlined it, and then he uses it as a wallet later on, and then like it's so.
I'm telling you, each one of these just gets more fucked up than the previous one.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
By the end of it, the last one that he tries to do is the sickest one of them all, where he's lining up a whole bunch of people. Somehow he got the entire town in this fucking freezer. How many people does he have in the freezer?
A lot.
That's a lot of people in the freezer.
A lot. And that's one thing I did.
And then the poor guy that he tried to get the ammo from scared out his mind.
Yeah, it's insane, man. I have a question for you, man. What are your thoughts? What's your take on these type of movies? Like when I say something to you, like I feel like it gives people ideas. Like, what do you say to that?
If you're saying like you're basically saying Scream, right? The whole like movies influence people, right?
Yeah.
I think there is a line, right, where a movie is identified as a movie.
Right.
And to me, the only thing that does it for me in this particular movie is that the artistic, or what is it that the person that he's talking to between?
Verge.
The Verge, right? The Verge is the only thing that kind of takes you out. But like, honestly, like, yeah, this movie, I'm not gonna say that gives you ideas, but it's like you kind of have to be sick in the head to enjoy it. I don't want to like say that to all our listeners. Like if you like this
Yeah.
movie, but like I don't know how you can. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just certain things that happen here that I don't know how you can really enjoy them. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a reason why there's always a good guy and a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And I can appreciate when the bad guy wins when it's like it makes sense. But like when it's just this and it's just like you're at what point do you like say like what am I watching? Like why am I
Yeah.
watching this?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then that's where I agree with you where like yeah, like this is just bad. This is not this is just giving people bad ideas.
Yeah, it's I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Like I think you kind of hit it when you said there has to be a point where you realize this is a movie, and for this one in particular, it really doesn't give you that, and it doesn't make sense. And I was kind of now I kind of want to jump into the ending, and I want to hear your thoughts because I was going to ask you this: did you understand what was happening at the end?
I did not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
like okay.
Was the old man the Verge? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
No, the old man was the Verge, but the movie.
It had some. I know there was some art frames at the end.
Yeah,
Like looked like a painting for a second. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was religious. So I didn't understand what was going on there.
The fifth incident is him trying to kill all those guys with one bullet. As he's doing so, the police are knocking on his door because he stole a cop car, and they're there and they're trying to get inside. He hears the Verge in the room, and he goes like, "Who are you? How did you get in here?" The Verge tells him, "I've been here all this time," which I'm just like, okay, this must be hallucination because there's no way like this guy was physically there, bro.
Which makes sense because he's been talking to this quote unquote Verge. I thought it was maybe like maybe he got caught and that's who the person who's been talking to. But
Same. But here's my thing on how it connects, because I get it. They're trying to say that, this is like the epilogue, like what we heard at the beginning, but now it's like the ending and kind of tells him everything throughout. But then he goes like, okay, so the Verge tells him to make a house, and he finally makes the house with all the corpses. Yeah, yep. Which is sick again, and also kind of like anticlimactic. I don't know. I was really expecting a house.
Yeah, it is anticlimactic, 100%.
And he just did that. I'm like, all right, fine. Like that's whack. You could have been doing that the whole time, but whatever. And then he goes into like this circle in the floor. I get it, like trying to direct him to hell, I guess. But
yeah,
is he dead or not? What do you like? What's going on here? Like, is this all now? What you call like paranormal? Is it all like fake?
Well,
like,
there's some implications there about layers of hell. He's like, this is not the layer that I was supposed to take you, or something like that. So definitely the theme there is hell, but I'm not sure.
And like he was wearing like the red robe.
Yeah, he was wearing the red robe. Yeah, there's a lot of red, but I don't know. Like, when did he die?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that was unclear because him falling off that climbing thing and going to hell, that to me is not him dying, because that's not real.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what what. I have it open here. Let's see what Wikipedia tells us.
Yeah.
About the third act of this movie, guys. As you can see, it's not always the case where we know what's going on in these movies. This one's a little bit convoluted.
We make do with what we got, and you try to expand your like knowledge on the scene, but it's still like I don't know if Lars was just trying to be different or what, but nah.
Yeah. So it says basically he meets the Verge, who reveals he's been observing Jack throughout his life, and reminds him that he's never built the home he intended to. Jack had several attempts building his house. Between his murders in the freezer, Jack arranges the frozen corpses he has collected over the years into the shape of a house. As police breaks in, Jack enters his house and follows the Verge into a hole in the floor, entering hell. Now, before I continue reading, they do shoot at him, no? Isn't there a gun that comes out?
Yes, they do shoot at him, but they don't hit him unless they did, but they don't want us to know it, or...
Let me continue reading. So the two reach a pit leading to the ninth circle of the center of hell. In the process of descending hell, footage is shown about the Akula super deep borehole, in which, according to the legend, human cries from the underworld, which Verge mentions, were heard. A broken bridge spans the pit. What? A broken bridge spans the pit. Jack notices a stairway on the other side of the bridge, which Verge says leads to a way out of hell. Jack attempts to scale a rock to scale to scale a rock wall to access the staircase against Verge's advice, and then falls into the abyss below. So yeah, he falls into hell. He goes into hell. He goes into hell. He tries to escape hell, and then he falls below. And then is the Verge here kind of like, I guess, Virgil from Dante's Inferno?
Yeah, I think they were trying to explain their story because everything was all it was all a story in the form of art. Like he was even explaining about the tiger and the lamb, you know, like the tiger being fierce and whatnot, and like, you know, killing the innocent lamb. But why blame the tiger if he is given the abilities to do so and stuff like that? Like it's a twisted mindset to have.
But you see, that's where I agree with you, and it's like that's sick.
Yeah. Like, listen, man. If I'm going to rate this, because I don't feel like I have more stuff to say, to be honest with you.
Me neither, and I don't feel like I could even rate this movie.
Yeah, I actually feel so. I can rate this movie. The only way for me to rate this movie is if I rate it two ways in two different perspectives. If I'm rating it as me, you know, like a personal preference and what movie I just saw, I'm giving it like a 4, 5. Being honest, that's just me. If I am rating it as a like a critic who is is understanding what type of movie is being made, I'm gonna give it an 8. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not trying to, like, you know, make anyone upset, but like
I'm
the work that Lars did,
yeah, I'm reading more about it now, and yeah, it Jack then murders a cop before meeting Verge, implied to be the spirit of the poet Virgil. Yeah, so Virgil from Dante's Inferno.
There you go.
So that is there, and then the bridge that Jack tries to cross is basically making it apparent that he's condemned to eternal damnation for his crimes.
Yeah,
and he tries to escape punishment by climbing out of hell, but loses his grip on the walls and falls into the eternal pit below. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it started off okay, but the more I watched the movie, the more I realized it was hard to watch. If that makes sense. And the more I watched the movie, the more I didn't want to watch the movie. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to rate this because this is not the type of movie that I would watch. Like,
yeah, man. Like I said,
I don't know if I would recommend watching this movie. Also, taking into account it's 2 hours and a half, so it's like
2.5 hours of sick shit.
Yeah, 2.5 hours of sick shit. Yeah, and it's, I don't know. I can't rate it. Honestly, I don't think I could rate this movie.
Wow.
I like the beginning. I thought the beginning was interesting. Yeah. Towards the end, I would just, if you want my honest opinion, I would just be like, I didn't like it. I'm not going to say it was bad. There wasn't any bad acting. Matt Dillon did a great job. That's pretty much it. Anything past like the third act was too disturbing for me to enjoy.
Yeah, no, I definitely see what you're saying, but I had to rate it two different ways for two different reasons, like I said. And like, again, like the acting was good. Like the way, like the incidents were described with particular stories and how it came at the end. Like, I know it's sick, but like the trophies, for instance, and the photos, like, I hate to say it, like that's the movie he was going for, and that's what he delivered. And he delivered it pretty well because of how we feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Like, I wouldn't be like, yo, go watch this movie.
Yeah.
Like, people were saying, yo, you gotta watch this movie. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it because I like watching movies, but this is not something that I have to watch. I could definitely put this aside.
Yeah, I could have not watched this movie. I've been perfectly fine with my life.
Yeah.
I cannot rate it. I'm sorry. We're gonna do the two ratings that Mr. S gave it.
Okay.
And I don't know if you got anything else about this movie.
That is all. Should we move on?
Let's move on.
Next segment. What are we talking about now, Tom Cruise?
So, a couple things first. So, there's some new footage for an Evil Dead game, which I think I told you a while ago was announced. So,
yes,
we've both played Friday the 13th. You played the Friday the 13th game before.
Of course.
Yeah, so they're making an Evil Dead game now. It looks very interesting. More like actual multiplayer footage. It looks really, really good. What do you call them? The Deadites look really, really interesting and really creepy. I don't have anything to show you right now.
Was it just pictures or just a trailer?
No, there's a trailer. There's actual gameplay. So if you guys are interested, I would definitely recommend watching this trailer. It's just exclusive demon gameplay, I believe. That's what the latest trailer is called. And it comes out May 13th, the actual game.
Okay.
So we're less than a month away, and it's multiplayer. So I'm excited. Maybe we can play this together.
Yo, I would be so. Is it on PC too?
Yeah, of course.
Yo, we could definitely do that.
Yep.
We could definitely. I'm excited.
Do that. Have you ever? So you've seen all the Evil Deads, right? You know I think they're making another one, no?
Oh, they probably are.
Yeah, the last one was the one that Fred Alvarez made with Jane Levy, which I really liked. I actually really liked. That's one of the only Evil Dead remakes that the only quote unquote horror remakes that I've liked. But I believe they're actually making another one. That's also something else I wanted to mention about Evil Dead.
Evil Dead Rise?
I think so.
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise. Yep. Wow. The game and the movie's coming out the same year. That's insane. Sam Raimi's on this. He wrote this.
There you go.
Sam Raimi wrote this. Wow, that's interesting. Interesting. Alrighty. That's something to look out for sure.
You want me to continue? I got a couple more things if you want to.
Yo, keep it going.
So, Never Hike Alone. Have you ever heard of this movie?
I feel like I have. Is that like the one with like the bootleg Jason mask or no?
Correct. No, so what it is, don't say bootleg. Come on.
Not
it's
bootleg.
It's a fan-made, yeah. It's a fan-made Friday the 13th movie. And it's actually really good. And it's gotten to the point where they've actually gotten some of the actors from the movies. Like, they got Tommy to come back. They got some other people to come back for these fan-made movies. And if you watch them, they're on YouTube. They're actually really good.
Okay.
Like, my brother's also a huge fan. He's always mentioning to me, like, yo, watch this fan. But he watches a lot of fan-made ones. But there's some fan-made ones that are actually pretty impressive.
Yo, and there's also a Halloween one that they did.
Oh, yes.
That was a good one. I like that one. Yeah.
Is that the one that Jimmy Champagne made?
I have no idea. But the one yeah. It's like his brother's involved in it. His brother dies. I don't know if you saw that when he goes into the house.
No. I don't know if it was that one. There's one that YouTuber, I'm sure people have heard of him, Jimmy Champagne. He made one that was supposed to be like a sequel to Halloween 2018.
Yes,
right
when he's
Halloween
in the like the beginnings, like with the guy in the cornfield, the kid with the bike.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Sick.
I really like that.
I like that one. Yeah.
So there's a lot of these fan-made movies. We could even talk about more of these. We could have an episode where we talk about all of them.
I'm down, man.
Never Hike Alone is actually one of the better Jason ones. And they're making a Never Hike Alone 2, and it's fully funded by Halloween fans. By Friday the 13th fans. I missed the Kickstarter on this. I would have funded it. I think I still can, so I might go ahead and fund it. There's an Indiegogo for those who are interested in funding it. It's just find it on Indiegogo. It's called Never Hike Alone 2, a Friday the 13th fan film. I think this is cool, man, especially considering we haven't had a Friday the 13th movie in how long?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like, bro.
But yo, I want to make one so bad. I would love to make a horror film so bad. You think I'm? I don't know. I don't
know if we're ready for that.
I have cameras. I have equipment. I'm trying to.
Bro, they have Tommy from Jason Lives in this, bro.
No, they don't.
They do. He was in the last one. He was at the end of the last one, I think.
He's probably so desperate. Not desperate like that in a bad way, but like I really enjoyed playing that part. Like, let's give more content to people, like to fans.
Yeah. This is exciting. I'm definitely gonna fund this as soon as we finish recording here.
Dope.
I'm excited. Moving on to something else, we have Stranger Things.
Yes.
This is, I know, one you're excited to talk about.
Oh, but I'm so excited.
I have to say, they got me. I was not excited for this season, and then I saw this full trailer, and you got me. You made a badass monster.
Yes.
You made a human monster, or like a human-esque monster.
Yes.
That looks badass, and it might be Robert Englund. Take my money.
Listen,
take my money.
Remember. Okay, so remember when you and
those
I
vines where you just like slap the card. Take my money.
Yeah, right? Remember when we had an episode earlier and I said Robert Englund is rumored to be in the season when they didn't give us any content, and I was excited for it.
I thought it was gonna be something small. I didn't know it was gonna be a huge thing. I
Yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
gonna be like a cameo.
Yeah, I thought I think I even said like I think they're gonna go into his house or something. I don't know what I thought.
Yeah, you
that,
did.
but I did.
You did. But I think at that early stage, we didn't think it was gonna be this huge.
Right. But the trailer to Stranger Things is a great trailer because a lot is happening, but at the same time, I don't know what's happening. Does that make sense?
Yes,
I know
100%. I agree.
I do know that
they give you enough to be like, okay, I recognize these characters and I get something, but I was like, but I have no idea what's going on.
Exactly.
Like,
one thing I do take away, I mean, I wish they didn't show so much of that monster. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like the eye scene was great, and if it wanted to, it could have been like 1 second or two, like how they kind of did it for season 2.
I appreciated like this, man. I thought it was badass. I think that the scene of the monster, the exactly what you're critiquing, I feel like is what got me. Like if they didn't show him entirely, I wouldn't have been as excited. When they showed how badass he looks, I was like, I'm fucking rooting for this monster now. Okay. Now I want to watch the movie.
Yo, honestly, like, listen, people forget how great Stranger Things really is because it's been so long. It's been like 3 years, right?
You know who the monster reminds me of? Before I forget.
You gonna say Game of Thrones? The white what's the guy's name?
The Night King? No.
The Night King.
No.
Who does it remind you of?
It reminds me of, you ever seen Pan's Labyrinth? Guillermo del Toro?
Nah.
No? You don't recognize this? No? Come on. All right.
This?
Anybody who's seen Pan's Labyrinth knows exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth, go watch that masterpiece of a movie. It's in Spanish entirely, but it's okay.
Pan's Labyrinth?
Yes. Google Pan's Labyrinth monster. That's what it reminds me of.
The body.
Yeah, the body. Yeah. I'm looking at that monster, and then I'm also just going and looking at the picture here.
Yeah.
And the body is like, obviously not the face. I'm talking about the body. I don't know. If you haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth, this is a good time to let you know that movie's amazing, and it's Guillermo del Toro. Watch it.
I will. Okay.
You'll cry too. You'll cry.
Well, back to Stranger Things.
Sorry to go sidetrack.
No, it's fine. I'll definitely keep that on my notes right there. But back to Stranger Things. So the trailer itself, what I do like is that, like I said, everything's all over the place, but we'll also see a little bit more of the characters. I know you said, you asked me, are we going to like them because, they're not kids anymore and like a little bit older? And I remember saying to you without a doubt, yeah, absolutely. Do you still feel that way?
I don't know. I don't.
Look how sick that looks. You see, now I want to know the story. Like, where has he been? This monster has been all this time. What's going on? How does this play with like the Demogorgons and like the other, monsters? I don't know. I think it's gonna be a great tie to all the seasons together. And I know it's been 3 years, but if they do it right, it'll be worth the wait.
Yeah, but I like that they're already establishing this as the beginning of the end. So you already know this is gonna, although there's another season. This season, I don't know if it's gonna end on a cliffhanger, but you already know, like, they're giving you the heads up, like, hey, we have one more season after this. But here's what I'll say: what I don't like about them being adults or older now is that I heard that the show's supposed to the season's supposed to be like 6 months later, bro. There's no way it's been 6 months. This is the last.
Listen, growth spurts, man. That happens. Suspension of disbelief. Don't forget, that's a thing. Look, here's what I'm expecting.
That might be a little too much for the average watcher to believe.
We'll see. Well, they know it's been 3 years since the last. So.
It's been 6 months. Look, these guys look like completely different guys.
This takes place during spring break. That's why. So, just to recap, not recap. Prediction first. I think people are gonna die. I told you this. I think I told you who I think is going to die. Steve.
Wow, I like Steve.
I know, but I think that's gonna happen.
He's my favorite character. One of my favorite characters.
People are gonna die. I feel like there's going to be a huge cliffhanger because now we have 2 volumes, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, volume 1.
Yeah, so I'm just excited to have it back, man. I'm excited to have it back. I think it's such a good show.
I debated whether I should go back and rewatch at least the last
I
season.
am doing it
I
right now.
haven't.
I
I
finished the
haven't.
first one. I'm on second one right now because my wife hasn't watched it, so she's watching it again. So I'm watching it with her, so I can get also refreshed. Bro, there's a lot of things that I'm just like, oh, I forgot about that, you know. So it's good to kind of go back and see.
Yeah, I'm debating whether I should do that. But I don't know. I'm really excited though. I can tell you, as somebody who wasn't excited like 3 episodes ago, this
Yeah.
trailer did it for me. This
Yeah,
trailer definitely did it for me.
there's a lot in the trailer, that I want to also break down. I actually want to go in like frame by frame and see what's happening, but I feel like it's a self-inflicted wound because then I feel like it gives a lot. I'm already upset that they showed him looking like that, but whatever.
Look at his arm. What's going on there? You got one
No
mutated
idea.
brolic arm.
No idea. No idea.
Do you think this is Robert England?
Yeah,
Voice,
absolutely.
the voice by Robert England.
I love the beginning. He goes, "You broke everything." Yo, that's insane. That's definitely him. Did they confirm it though? I don't think they
No,
confirmed it.
they haven't confirmed it.
That's
No.
definitely him.
It's all speculation. That hasn't been confirmed. No way that's been confirmed.
Yeah, but I'm excited for that for Stranger Things.
Me too.
Yeah, it's him. It's him. It's definitely him. Okay, I'm gonna just read something real quick. Ready?
Yep.
Blah blah. Blah, blah. In Stranger Things season 4, the series looks to expand to a scale unlike anything in prior seasons. Well, Rob England's character. Hold up. Okay. The showrunners briefly touched upon Victor Creel, the scarred, bearded man surrounded by darkness portrayed by England, describing him as a pivotal character in the upcoming series. While the Duffer Brothers avoided sharing too many details that could spoil England's role, they did reveal that the veteran horror actor actually approached them to be involved before hinting that the season is heavily inspired by England's nightmarish... Oh, really? Elm Street slasher series. So he actually went to them. Wow.
And it said it's inspired by Number on Elm Street.
Yeah. That just made it more epic. So I don't think that guy... I mean, he could still be the guy that you have on your screen, that monster. I don't. Maybe it's him, maybe it's not. But apparently, he is in the show as an old man who can't see.
Yeah, I seen. There's a still of that. There's a still of him.
Yeah.
Like that.
Interesting. Wow. I kind of like that he approached them. Because
Yeah,
that really means that he really wanted to be in it.
It's interesting. I'm sure he only voices the monster if he does. But either way, I'm still excited. Anything Robert Englund is in, I'm always excited.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, that's all. Do you want to move on to the next segment we have?
I think I have something else here, but do you have anything else on your end?
Nah, not right now.
Let me take a look. I wanted to see if there was something we can end it on. That was a pretty big news, but
Oh, you want to talk about your book?
oh, I haven't talked about my book. Yes,
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
So I did finish my book. It's very sad. It's very interesting. It gets dark. It gets really dark. Should I spoil it at this point? I don't know.
Okay, what's the title and the author again? And just say spoilers so people cannot continue on from here.
No, I don't want to spoil it in case you decide to read it. It's called.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. No, don't spoil it.
This Thing Between Us.
Yeah.
It's called This Thing Between Us.
Yes.
A novel. Author is Gus Moreno. And it basically deals with grief after his wife died, and there's a lot of things that go on. I think I mentioned early on. There's some things with like a electronic device that is kind of like haunted. His wife ends up passing away. That is kind of a spoiler, but that's like very early on.
Early on, yeah. I think you mentioned this.
Yeah, but this guy just can't catch a break. I'll say that. So many things happen to him, and my verdict by the end of it was like I really enjoyed this book. I just didn't expect it to be this sad. Like I wanted it to be more horror. It definitely had horror elements, and that's what I appreciated the most.
Damn,
like I mentioned,
you
the
were
scene
attached for sure. Then.
Yeah, no, I mentioned the scene where like there was this cook. Remember I told you that it felt like he was crawling on all fours behind the car or something like that. There's a couple more scenes like that really stand out to me. But when it came to like the overall like conclusion of the book. It was more depressing or sad than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that it was a bad book. I really enjoyed the book, but me personally, what I was looking for was more so those horror elements.
Yeah.
But I would recommend. And
So,
my girlfriend and I are considering starting our next book, and the book that you suggested is on our list.
dude, I'm telling you,
that might be
you
next.
are going to love that book. I'm telling you, you're gonna love that book.
What was the book again? Just so the audience knows.
Silent Patient. The Silent Patient.
The Silent Patient.
By Alex Michaelides. He's Greek.
Yeah, we already have it on our Kindles. We just gotta like actually commit to starting it. So that might be next, and I'll keep you posted and tell you what I think so far. Maybe we can do that on the podcast.
Would love to hear it.
Yeah. Besides that, I don't know if I have anything that I want to talk about just yet. Maybe I'll save this for next week.
Gotcha. Does that mean we are moving on to horror trivia?
Yes, let's do some final horror trivia.
I am not prepared for this.
Oh, it's me, right? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a little tricky because I threw away the box and combined the deck. So now it's just
interesting. So. By the way, anyone who has their own questions that they would like for us to ask each other, I think that'd be cool, you know. So if you have any suggestions or just let us know if you're getting any of these right on your own. I think my brother was telling me that he was getting some right. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's do it. I would love to do fan questions, so we could do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you ready?
Nope.
All right. What sci-fi horror film does a black hole unleash its evil upon the actors Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill?
Black hole?
A black hole. Yeah.
The black hole?
No, it's called Event Horizon.
No, never seen
it. Okay, you already know this one. Who is also known as the Mistress of Dark?
You asked me this.
No, I think you asked me this. That one.
Elvira?
Yeah.
Didn't know. I think I asked you this?
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't ask you that.
Okay. Oh, I think I asked AJ this. Did I?
Maybe.
Whatever. Somebody asked somebody something.
What is the name of a horror film magazine that debuted in 1979 and is returned to print at this point in 2018?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
Think about horror magazines. There's not many of them. I just looked at the answer and I was like, yeah, this makes sense.
Horror magazines?
Yeah, there's not really many.
Does it begin with an F?
Yes, it does.
Fright.
No. One, two. Fangoria.
Fangoria! Oh my god, yo! You know what's crazy? I have a Halloween comic, and it legit has it on the end. You know, at the end where it shows you all the other magazines.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I might have a Fangoria comic somewhere around.
Yeah, no, I have. I'm so stupid. Yeah.
I almost showed you the answer for this. What body part was the creature after in the movie Jeepers Creepers?
Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
Yep. What is the name of the character in? Oh no, you told me this one already.
What?
What's the name of the character in Poltergeist that says they're here? You asked me that. Like,
yeah,
that might have been like our first time doing.
Yeah.
Okay, what 1931 movie features the classic line, "It's alive, it's alive"?
Frankenstein.
Yes.
1931? Really?
Yeah, but why did you like immediately start reacting? Like you already knew?
No, it's just 1931. I was about to say, yo, what movie? 1931 was Frankenstein. 1933 was The Invisible Man. I didn't know much else that's that far back.
Yeah. What horror franchise centers around a group of survivors who escape death and killed one by one in freak accidents? And are killed one by one in freak accidents.
The Blair Witch Project? No, I'm kidding. Final Destination.
And the podcast. What's the button? Like I have a little button here.
Final Destination.
Okay. Who wrote the novella The Hellbound Heart, which inspired the movie Hellraiser? I don't know this. I don't know.
Sam Raimi.
No. It's the same person who wrote the book. It's on the title of the movie. Something's Hellraiser.
No,
Like,
uh,
I'd always thought he wrote the movie, but I guess he wrote the novella that inspired the movie. Which makes sense that that movie would be a novella.
wait, they made the movie too? The same person that wrote the
No,
book made the movie?
no. I said I always thought he wrote the movie. Clive Barker.
Clive Barker.
Yes, you know who Clive Barker is if you look.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd write a book.
What Stephen King movie stars a teenager with a possessed 1958 Plymouth Fury? This is one of the movies that I haven't seen.
Stephen King.
Yep.
It's not it.
No. 1958. It's a car, right? It's a car, right?
Repeat it again. I'm sorry. One more time. The question.
What Stephen King movie stars a teenager with a possessed 1958 Plymouth Fury, which is a car?
I feel like I know this.
Christine.
I don't know this.
I feel like I know this. I don't know this.
I was just at Barnes and Noble looking at all Stephen King's books. I did not see that there.
I know what this is, but I've never seen it, and I've seen this referenced in like other shows, other movies, but I've never actually seen the movie.
All right.
All right. What is the name of Broken Lizard's 2004 slasher film
Club
that was
Dread.
released in Super Troopers? What after Super Troopers? I've never seen this movie.
Is it Club Dread?
Yeah, it is.
Yo, this movie is. I've seen this movie as a kid many times. Now, Broken Lizards, they have horror slashers, they have Beer Fest, they have all these movies, but Club Dread is actually. It's like a Scream. It's like one of those films where one of the people that you know is the killer at the end. That's all I'm gonna say. But they're like in an island, and then murders are happening one by one, and like. But it's also very. It's a funny movie though. It's like a very funny. I mean, at the time when I was younger, it was very funny. I haven't seen it in so long, but, yeah.
What is this? I've never even heard of this.
What? Yo, you never seen this with Lars and them? Lars is one of them names. I forgot. Penelope, but he calls him Penelope. It's actually a funny movie. It's actually pretty scary when
Bill Paxton is in this?
Huh?
Okay. I said Bill Paxton is in this.
Yo, they're like, it's actually like, it's horror. I would call it horror, but it's a horror comedy, so it's pretty cool.
Wait. What is this? This is not what I'm looking at. Wait.
Club Dread.
I know, but okay. It stars people from Super Troopers. I've seen Super Troopers. So wait.
Maybe some people?
Yeah. I just saw the cop from Super Troopers or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to watch this because I mean I like Super Troopers. I always thought Super Troopers was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I didn't know this existed.
Yeah.
Okay. So which J.J. Abrams film had the tentative title 1/1808?
1/1808.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's a date. Cloverfield.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
I guess just the first one though, because this is
Got you.
Cloverfield.
Nice. Nice.
Are we done or want to do one more?
I mean, that's been like 10 questions, but sure, one more wouldn't hurt.
We're just gonna exhaust this until you just can't talk anymore.
No, I like it.
What European director of the classic 1977 film Suspiria is also known as the Italian Hitchcock? You're not gonna know this.
Superior?
No, Suspiria is the movie that he directed. The director is known as the Italian Hitchcock.
What's his first name? Tell me his first name. I'll give you the last name.
Dario.
What's his last name? Tell me his last name. I'll tell you his first name.
Argento.
Nah, I don't know. I would not know this one.
Okay. Damien Thorne is the name of the possessed child in the 1976 movie.
Damien Thorne?
Yeah.
Is what?
Is the name of the possessed child in what movie? This is the easy one.
Damien Thorne, possessed child?
Yes, there's only one movie about a possessed child, really. Oh, there's a couple of these actually.
Exorcist?
The big one. The big one. No. Exorcist does not have a possessed child. I mean, it does. Technically, it has a possessed girl. Possessed boy.
Possessed
How about that?
boy? Oh, A Conjuring?
It's before that.
Oh, this is 1976. I'm sorry. My fault.
Come on. 666.
The Omen.
Yes, there you go. I had to lay it up for you, bro, but that's an easy one.
Nah, depends,
Damien, you don't remember that the kid's name is Damien, so you know it's not a girl. And
bro.
Damien is always the devil's son.
Yeah, I guess, but there's so many movies that have like possessed children. So
They do nowadays. They do.
yeah.
With that being said, that wraps it up for episode 13.
Yes, sir.
Please tune in next week.
What?
Follow us on Twitter at
Yes.
That's Horrific. Follow
Yes.
us on Instagram at Well That's Horrific, and now on TikTok
Yes.
at what's the app?
Well, that's
Well,
horrific.
That's Horrific as well. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
we're posting as much as we can. Also on YouTube. Again, we post first. We on Mondays, our podcast drop. Tuesdays you should see our YouTube video. If you want to see our faces with that, but yeah, just make sure to follow and like and subscribe. And if you have any feedback or anything, let us know. And tune in next week, because if you don't,
Well, That's Horrific.
peace.
Peace.